Hi everybody, my name is Laura Zentmeyer. I am a Platinum Executive of ASEA. ASEA is a biotech and research company that's widely recognized as a global leader in cellular health. I'm also certified as Regenerative Health Practitioner. And today we are going to talk about a number of testimonials that we have collected thanks to my good friends Terry and Aaron Latham. They have created some tools for us that we can use, and gosh, it's just amazing. So if you're trying to grow this business, you don't need to be an expert, just leverage the tools. They've created so many tools for you. But you know what? If you're here just because you want to learn about the product, let's talk a little bit about that. So ASEA it's called a cell signaling supplement. Supplement's not really the right word. Bioreplenishment is the correct word. This is a replication of something that your mitochondria are making every moment of the day. So you could perhaps go for 3 weeks without food, maybe 3 days without water, maybe 3 minutes without oxygen. You cannot last for 3 seconds without your redox signaling molecules. They are the most fundamental component of your body that enables your cells to work, to communicate, to heal. And as you get older, you make less and less and less. You're making about 10% less every single decade that you age beyond adolescence. So once you're in your 50s, you're kind of depleted of these things, and it just gets worse as you get older. You're just not making as much. So, if a 2-year-old falls, it's usually not a big deal. They sort of bounce up. Usually they're okay. If a 90-year-old falls, like, oh no, it could be tragic because they do not have as many redox signaling molecules. And so what these things do, they enable cellular communication. So they amplify and they clarify signals between and within your cells. So your cells are just talking to each other better. The cells within a tissue, within an organ can communicate. They can communicate to other organs. Your kidneys can talk to your heart. If you're going to touch a hot stove, you know to move your hand because of all the cell signaling. Your body, everything is just talking to each other. It wakes up the inner doctor in your cells and makes them go like, there's something that we should be doing better. It's also going to boost your antioxidants. So catalase, superoxide dismutase, glutathione, that's a big one. They go way, way up, so you don't have to be a germaphobe. And they go up, but it's a modulated way. Your body is brilliant. It knows exactly how much it wants, and so this enables your cells to create those antioxidants that you need in an endogenous way, which means it's inside your cell. If you take these supplements like some glutathione and you get an injection or orally, those are really big molecules. It's going to be hard for them to get absorbed into the cells and do anything that's worthwhile. And so that happens. And then also what I love is it turns on genes for your cardiac system, immune system, inflammatory system, digestive system, and hormone modulation. So it just empowers your cells to work better and heal faster. Every health challenge involves cells. Let's get into some testimonials. So we are very blessed to have Terry and Aaron do a morning Zoom every weekday morning at 8:30 Eastern time. So if you're in a different time zone, do the math. And this is the website, teamlivit.com/webinars. But for those of you in the state of Washington or Oregon, it's early. It's 5:30 in the morning. You might not want to hop on a Zoom at that point. Don't worry. You can go to LeadFromTheFront.global. Terry and Aaron have created this as a tool for us, and you can see call recordings. And so what you do is you go to the website and you click on Connect, you click on Call Recordings, scroll down. Monday nights they do a motivational call that's sensational. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they have these 15-minute long Zooms. And then there's one that happens Thursday night. It's called Redox 5, and that is with folks on the medical board and some other really great people. And it's an hour-long Zoom. It takes a few seconds for this to load. But what amazing credibility. It's doctors who say that they save more lives by educating people about redox than they do by seeing patients all day long. So lots of great videos there. And so now I'm just going to, I took little snippets of a few of the testimonials because every day there was a great one. So let's start with a gentleman from Monday's call. He was talking about how he had anxiety and depression and was taking over 500 pharmaceutical products per month. He had 18 surgeries. So here he is.
I'd had 18 surgeries, was still working, but very likely to be unable to work much longer at that time and do a lot of the stuff that I do around the house. I was just struggling with a lot of physical issues and some emotional issues too. I had anxiety and depression, and those things troubled me a lot. But anyway, he told us about the product and we decided to try it, and it's been a life changer for us. I'll just tell you, I could spend all day talking about all the stuff that it's done for me and my family and my loved ones. We've shared it with a lot of people, but long story short, I had a lot of physical issues that it began to affect immediately. I was seeing 7 doctors. I was taking a handful of pills every day, up to around 500 a month just for discomfort. And I was on a lot of prescription medications. And as the longer I stayed with ASEA, I started off taking 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night, rubbing the Renew 28 gel in a lot of places on my joints and muscles. And I began to notice that I was improving. I went to the doctor and he took me off some of my prescription medication. I was able to just quit cold turkey all the over-the-counter medicines I was taking for discomfort. I was able to get off of just about all the prescription medication. I still take 3 prescriptions that are on a regular basis, but they're mainly for just insurance, that I don't get blockages in my arteries and that sort of thing. But it has changed my emotional attitudes. I have no anxiety and depression like I had before. It has really just brightened my outlook on life. I was at the point where I could not even stand to sit in a room full of people sometimes, and my own loved ones, my family, and it was just so hard to be dealing with that every day, and that it would put you in a very dark place, as I've heard a lot of people say. And I appreciate our military guys and other people that have had these disorders that just leave you not knowing which way to turn sometimes. But ASEA has made a difference in my life and my family's life. I am still working at 75 years old, doing a job that a lot of younger men struggle with because they don't know the secret that I know.
Awesome. And Tuesday's testimonial was from the one and only Barbara Stoles. Her
My name's Barbara Stoles out of
frozen in the
Indianapolis,
very
Indiana.
beginning, but then it gets good.
I got introduced to this technology back in April of 2016. I've had several major testimonies, but I'm just going to share 2 of them with you. Back in April of 2017, I had a major female surgery, and I was told I was going to be on bed rest for 4 to 6 weeks. And I was just like, well, that doesn't sound like fun. So my surgery was on a Thursday morning, and I elected not to take any pain meds after that surgery. That evening, I was able to walk the corridor, and the next morning, I was able to walk the corridor and go up and down a half a flight of stairs. My discomfort was really high, but I decided to power through with the help of Redox. I took my liquid with me, the Renew 28 at the time, and I also had a nebulizer I was using. So that really, really helped. And that Saturday morning, I went home and just relaxed for a few days. By the 10th day, I woke up, which was Mother's Day, pain-free. So that was pretty exciting for me. And then my next testimony that I wanted to share was back in March of 2019, I elected to do what was called Mohs surgery. Folks, I had a cell dividing challenge on my left cheek that would not go away. And I had it on my cheek for 2 years. Now, when people say that this product doesn't work, believe me, a lot of people told me, hey, these products don't work. My little mini-me's were telling me these products don't work because this challenge never went away. I was doing everything right. I was drinking the liquid. I was using the gel. I was doing everything. So finally, I reached out to Jerry White, who was my mentor. I said, Jerry, why isn't this going away? He goes, Barb, these molecules go to the areas that need it the most. That made sense to me because my family has a huge history of 2 other major cellular health challenges. And so that put everything into perspective for me. So when people say, hey, these products don't work, these molecules are doing something. And I believe full-heartedly that these molecules were preventing me from having those 2 major situations. And so I'm going to share my picture. If you just had breakfast, I apologize, but I wanted to share how important this technology has been to me. Let me do this really quick. There it is. And so I know a lot of you have probably seen this before, but a lot of people didn't know it was me. Folks, I only had 1 day of discomfort after that surgery. 5 months later, that's how good I looked. And folks, I have a trauma doctor that works on our team. And when he saw those pictures, he goes, Barb, to get those kind of results would normally take 1.5 years to 2 with plastic surgery. Folks, I never had plastic surgery. And again, I only had 1 day of discomfort. And these products have been helping me throughout my 64 years of life to look younger and feel more vibrant. And I just love Redox.
Okay. And then thank you, Barbara Stoles. And then Wednesday's testimonial, the person didn't have her camera on. So it's just a recording of her voice. I'll sum it up. She's 75 years old, just feels vibrantly well, loves to feel younger, look younger. And I loved that she said, I can dream again. Because she basically, you know, when you have health challenges, you feel like there's limitations. She's got a lot of options and freedom right now, so that's great. And then she also shared the story about helping her son, whose big toe was in a lot of discomfort because there was a buildup of uric acid, and she gave him the Redox Gold. The discomfort vanished. So we have 2 different gels. We have Renew 28. This is a gel. It's the same product as the Redox signaling molecules. This is liquid that heals you from the inside out on a systemic level. This heals you from the outside in. It's just the topical, more concentrated, so you're going to feel faster results. And then we have another one that's a real game changer. It has 24 karat gold that's been added to it that serves as a catalyst. And this can get a little nerdy. It upregulates the NRF2 pathway. Your glutathione production can be increased in an endogenous way by 280%. It just means use it. If you have discomfort, just use it. And you have to put it where the source of the problem is. It needs to go exactly where the root cause is, which is generally where it hurts. But sometimes, you know, sometimes somebody's hand might hurt. They might put it on their hand. They're like, it still hurts. Maybe the issue is because they need like a chiropractic adjustment with their neck. They need to put it on their neck, and then their hand works. So just play with it. It does a lot more. It does so much more than just for inflammation, but play with it and have fun. And so anyway, the guy who had a lot of discomfort in his toe was feeling really good the next day. And then Thursdays, they didn't record it in the very beginning. She was talking about her dog. This saved her dog's life. The dog was almost a goner. The veterinarian was baffled. This saved the dog's life. And so the recording starts where she's like, okay, well, if it worked that well for the dog, I'm going to use it. So let me go to that one.
So literally so ASEA literally saved my dog's life. She's my ASEA dog. And so I looked at my husband and I said, if ASEA will do this for her, what's it going to do for us? We are definitely going to stay on this product. Well, then, I don't know, we've been on it about 8 months, I guess. And I had to go in for my bone density test. And I had the test done, and the nurse called me a couple of days later, and she said, I'm calling to give you your results. And I was going every 6 months to get an injection, just so it would not get any worse. And she said, your bones look great. And I said, okay. And I said, so they're not any worse? And she said, oh, there's nothing wrong with your bones. And I said, excuse me? And she said, your doctor will talk to you when you go in to see her. So when I went to see my doctor, she literally, she danced into the room. And she was like, oh my word, Miss Gibbons, you've never in your life, I've never seen anything like this. She said, your bones are so healthy and so strong. She said, you went from really brittle bones to this. She says, I don't know what you're doing or if you're doing anything different. I said, well, I'm taking ASEA. And she had heard of ASEA. And she said, well, if that's what's doing it, you better stay on ASEA. She said, your numbers are amazing on this. She said, I would love for you to take this sheet of paper home and frame it. And I said, well, I don't know if I will frame it. She said, well, this is something I've never seen before. So to say ASEA has changed our life is an understatement. We have met most wonderful people through this company. The company has got so much integrity. I could just go on and on about how great this whole company is and this product and what it does. And it feels good to share it with people that you know what it can do for them and to see the results later. I'm so grateful.
I love that testimonial. And then Friday's testimonial, I just took a little snippet from it. This gentleman's talking about his wife who was dealing with hospice. So here you go.
So I was introduced to ASEA quite some time back. Well, my wife, she come down with a very serious health challenge, and long story short, we was introduced to ASEA through Bill Perry, Tom Beasley, so on and so forth. I think back late 2014, early 2015, somewhere around that time frame. Long story short, she ended up becoming on hospice, and when she started the product, 3 months after being on ASEA, she ended up coming 180% turnaround. She was in the backyard playing kickball, so on and so forth, 100% back to herself. And that's when we kind of looked around and just knew that was when our whole world had changed dramatically, because obviously she's back to 100% health.
Yeah. So that was just a portion of his testimonial. But did you notice in the beginning of it, he said he was introduced by Tom Beasley and Bill Perry. Tom Beasley has won 2 Super Bowl championships. This isn't just for the sickest of the sick, it's for the fittest of the fit. Athletes love this product. That's a whole other Zoom though. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to wrap this up. Please join those morning Zooms that Terry and Aaron do, or if you can't, get the recordings from LeadFromTheFront.global. It's a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody.